weekend. We'll start with questions from Mark McAdam at Sky Sports, please.
Good morning, Rafa. It's Mark from Sky. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning. I can hear you.
Morning, Rafa. We'll start with the transfer window, which is ebbing away now, just 4 days to go. One of the big talking points over the last 48 hours has been a player you know very well, Cristiano Ronaldo, and a potential move back to the Premier League, back to potentially Manchester City. As someone you know, how exciting would it be to see him back in English football?
Obviously, when you said that we will talk about the transfer window, I thought that you will be talking about our transfer window, and my answer will be for you, for the rest of your colleagues, that still we have time. We are working on that, and then until the 31st of August, we have plenty of time to try to do something. In terms of players for other teams, obviously Cristiano is a great player, but I will not talk too much about him because it's just a speculation, see what is going on, and maybe we'll have plenty of time to talk about anything, but especially our players.
There's been a lot of talk about his age. At 36, do you think he could still be a big player in the Premier League if he were to come over?
Because he's not my player, or will not be my player. It's a question that you have to ask to his coach, Allegri, or his new coach. I don't know who will be.
Okay. Let's talk about Everton. I know you said you're working hard to bring in some new faces. There's been a little bit of speculation about players potentially departing. Richarlison to PSG, should Mbappe go to Real Madrid? Moise Kean to Juventus, should Cristiano Ronaldo leave? It's a domino effect. Can you bring us up to date if there's been any formal interest on any of your players?
Obviously, we have some players that people know that they are good players, and they can be players that people will be talking about that. You say rumors about this one, the other one, depending on this one, the other one. But this speculation is something that you have to do because you need to give information to the fans. But for us, coaches, we have to concentrate on what we have. And at the moment, we have our players here. We have an important game against Brighton, and then we will try to do our best to be sure that we are ready. That's it.
If there was interest in someone like Richarlison, would it have to be a huge offer for Everton to consider selling?
We are not considering selling him. He is our player, and we are really pleased with him, really happy, and hopefully he can score a lot of goals this year for us.
Looking ahead to the weekend, an exciting game against Brighton, a team that have had a really positive start to the Premier League campaign as well. What type of challenges will they bring to you, a good footballing side?
Yeah, it's true. I think that they are doing well. What I said about Leeds is the same, similar for them. With the same manager, with the way that they want to play, they know each other really well. They are dangerous at set pieces. They can pass the ball. They can keep the possession. They have some good players up front that they have pace and ability. So it's a good team. They are obviously playing with a lot of confidence. And as usual in the Premier League, will be a tough game. And hopefully we can do in the same way that we did. So we can be strong together, and then we can challenge and we can get a result.
And finally, from me, Rafa, there's been a lot of talk this week about the players travelling away for international duty to red list countries, and the government has stepped in to support the Premier League, and there's been a unanimous decision that players that would be going to those areas need to stay in their countries. Do you think that's the right decision in terms of the health and safety of everyone back at their respective clubs?
Yeah, obviously it's not an easy thing for anyone, but I think a decision has been made, and then that's it. So the players, they understand that we have to take care of also of them, and then we have to consider that everyone has the idea, and we have to deal with that. So it's the way that it is.
Thanks, Rafa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We'll go to Damien Johnson at Premier League Productions next, please.
Morning, Rafa.
Hi.
Can I ask, is there any news on the progress of James Rodriguez? Is he staying? Is he going? What can you tell us?
Yes, to be fair, it's what I said before. So, and sorry about that, but I cannot give you too many answers to this question. So these players are our players. Still, we have some days to keep working on one way or another way, and we will see. You will know. But if you ask me the question, maybe in 3 days you will have the solution. Today is just a speculation, so it's just I cannot say too much. Sorry about that.
Can I ask you to sum up how you feel about the start you've made as Everton manager? It's 4 points out of 6.
Fine, could be better, could be worse, obviously. But I think overall the reaction of the players, the commitment of the players, the desire, and sometimes the way that we were playing, I'm happy with that. I know that we have to improve things, but at the same time, I think everybody understands how difficult is the transfer window for us, how difficult are the financial fair play rules for us at the moment, and what the team did in the past, and the Olympic Games, and the Euros, the Copa America, everything has been a little bit confused at the beginning with new managers. So I think we are doing well for all, considering all these things, and I'm sure that we will improve in a lot of issues, but at the moment it's just one step at a time, and then we have to be sure that we have a strong team to play against Brighton.
In the Carabao Cup, the likes of Gomez, Iwobi started, Gohanan came back. Did you face a few decisions on selection for the Brighton game?
Yeah, but I'm happy with that. So if you have players and they can compete for the position, it's always good news for me and good news for the fans and the club in general. So if you have a competitive team, you have to make decisions, and that's it. It's just what you have to do to be sure that you keep the players. It's a long season anyway. When I talk with them, when I make the decisions, it's a long season, and obviously with the COVID around, you never know what can happen with injuries, so everybody will have his opportunity, but at the moment it's just to choose the right ones for this game, but the others, they have to be ready. And I'm also very happy with the way that the players coming from the bench give us something. So all of them, in all the games, they come into the game and then they produce a good performance in terms of intensity, spirit, and also in terms of play. So happy with the situation that we are creating around that, this team spirit and competition between players.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thank you, Damien. We'll go to James Mountford, please, next.
Hello, Rafa. Can I just ask about the squad, please, for this weekend? Have you got players who are back and available?
Yeah, we have some players that are coming back, and still some players that we are missing. Delph, for example, there was a player that was playing the other day. He has a problem with his shoulder, so and he will not be available. One of the names, some of them, I will not go with everyone, but still we have a training session, so we will train later on, we will fly, and we'll have more information. It's just giving you this one that maybe you didn't know, and he was playing the other day, he couldn't be involved in the Carabao Cup game, so it's because that.
Just going back to the League Cup game on Tuesday night, we saw Jarrod Branthwaite and John Joe Kenny, who we've not seen for a little while because of their loan spells. I just wonder what your thoughts on them were and their progress after coming back.
I think it's good for them to play a game, a competitive game, and also I'm not very critical with players when they play these kind of games, because you have too many players, we make too many substitutions, too many new players, and it's difficult for them to perform at the level that they can. I think it was both. They show the desire to improve. We know what they did well. They know what they did well and what they didn't do so well, and we are working on that for the future. But really pleased in the way that the team was reacting, because it was not an easy game.
And on the flip side, another player who's come back, Moise Keane, he got sent off. How frustrating is that for you?
Yeah, it's, during the game it was difficult because I couldn't see from the beginning the incident. After, okay, you cannot change what was going on. Now he has to learn. I said before, he's a young player, and he's suspended now. Is what we have, so he has to learn for the future. That's it.
Just one more from me, if I may. The team seemed to have a resilience that perhaps wasn't always evident last season. You've been behind and you've come back into the game. You've not lost so far this season. Is that what you're most pleased with? Yeah,
obviously I think that it's not just me. The fans, they can see that the team is trying their best until the last minute, and if something is wrong, still we carry on pushing and working hard. So I said before, we'll have bad games, we'll have problems, and I will make a mistake with the substitutions, with the team selection or whatever, but still I want to see this spirit, this commitment, this desire, because it will give us points during the season.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Thank you, James. We'll go to Andy Hampson next, please.
Hello, Rafa.
Hi.
Just one from me, really. Brighton last season had a tough time in terms of results, but did get a lot of praise for the way they played the game. This season, they turned that into a good start in the Premier League. Just wondering what your thoughts on them and how they play.
No, they are doing well. Obviously, I could follow the last season. They were under pressure until the end that they get some results and then they finish well. But that is an idea. Each one has to decide how they want to play depending on the player that you have. And if you are winning, it's fine. If not, you have some teams that they were playing similar style and they were relegated. So I think it's important to have a balance between what you want to do and what you can do. And little by little, obviously, if you are getting stronger, you can do more things, more games in the way that you want to play. But you have to praise them because they are doing well and they are now in a good position in the way that they want to do things.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Andy. And finally, we'll take one question from Jim Conlon, please.
Hi, Rafa.
Hello.
This is two parts to this question. The first part, I suppose, we mentioned Moise Keane, and I suppose he was not your player last year. He was out on loan in terms of Paris Saint-Germain. Do you think he's come back and he's beginning to settle in English football, that he's beginning to adjust to it? And if he were to leave the club, a player that's been linked to the club in the past, Isco from Real Madrid, is there still interest there from Everton in Isco?
So the reality is that it's true that he's our player. He did well last year and is with us. And then we have to deal with the situation now with the transfer window. The first question was about the speculation, and we can continue talking about that, but we will not have the solution. So we have to wait a few days, see where we are, and after maybe the next press conference will be easier because we will have some facts instead of just the speculation.